We are about to create a new assembly file. Then we are going to place the first part. Insert the base. When inserting the base or first part of the assembly, do not click after you open it. You will right-click and say Place Grounded at Origin. Your part will be displayed in an isometric view and remain attached to your cursor. If you do not place it grounded, utilize the model tree. Next, let's insert the bracket. It is a quantity of 2. Now, we are going to constrain the bottom surface of the bracket to the surface of the base that it will mate to. It will attach to the base, eliminating that degree of freedom. But, without other constraints, the part will still move. Add another constraint to have the 2 axes of the holes to align them. Make sure to select the surface of the hole, not the edges. The bracket will be able to swing out. To fix this, let's mate the other hole. It should not be able to move, it should be in a fixed position because we eliminated all of its degrees of freedom. Now constrain the other bracket. This time I am going to mate the front of the part with the side of the base. Then the holes of each object. The bracket can still move back and forth. It is now in a fixed position. I was asked why I had that work plane on, so I went into the original model and turned it off. However, you can do this in the model tree in the assembly, too. Next, we will place the shaft. I want to change the visual style of my parts, so I went to View and changed it. This time, we do not want the shaft to be fixed, so we will use a different method to constrain this. Select the surface of the shaft to align the axis. The part should be able to rotate and glide through the holes. If we mate any more surfaces, the shaft will not move or rotate. To get this in the center, I will create a midplane on the assembly and turn it on or add a work plane onto the shaft. Then constrain the two. The shaft should spin. Place the bushings. I prefer bringing in each part as I go, but some people prefer to bring them all in at once. Constrain the bushing in a fixed position on the shaft, mating to the brackets. Let's insert the roller now. We are going to just place it, then use our constraint command. Before we get to that, I am going to go back to the original model and add the midwork plane. Doing it outside of the assembly and in the actual part is easier. Back to the assembly, we are going to constrain the axis of the roller hole and the axis of the shaft. As you can see, we can still move it left and right. We only want it to rotate on the shaft. So we will constrain the two work planes. Now make sure yours can rotate. Save your assembly and say yes to all and OK. Now that we are done assembling, let's move on to the drawing. It is important to select the appropriate drawing style, whether it is in millimeters or inches. Right-click on the sheet and select Edit Sheet. Change sheet size to B and type A for revision. Go to Part 2 to see how to place the assembly on the drawing.